So it begins. Another page, maybe 2 pages, maybe finish a complete chapter. Number 4 on the dice. Oh, you don't want me to start with that? All right. Does anybody know what happens to a string when you cut it in two? One side, two sides. One side, two sides. When it was one, it only had one side. So we divided the center. Simple as that. But what's the question? Do you know what's funny about certain things? This cap is on the top, turned down. But if I turn the bottle over to drink it, now the cap is on the bottom, turned up. If we unwind it, we will see what's inside. It's like a little jar. If this was a weed eater, okay, the cap that we put on this way does its work upside down. And then on the weed eater, there's 2 cords like this, one here and one here, and they turn around. But if you look at them actually turning around, okay, I have to go get a little paper of mine, if I can find it. Hello, little paper. Where are you? I can't believe I can't find it. I don't see it. I'm not sure where it is, but I'll look for it. Are we in an electronic world? We most certainly are. Are we in time heaven? That is questionable. Are we the only you in time heaven? You know what it means by you? You take that cord and you hold the 2 ends up. You take a cord or a skipping rope and you hold the 2 ends up, the U part ends up to be on the bottom. And when you skip rope, you skip around the U. Skip around the U, skip around the U. I might not remember it, but when you put them together, here's your U. The skipping rope, okay, of the tic-tac-toe, if you take a look, would be held between, okay, 1 and 3. And in the center would be the 2 worlds. That would be skipping. Here's the lines of the skip. Here's the rope turning around. One at one end, one at the other end. So anyways, we looked at that. The other thing to look at, I'm not quite sure, but has anybody ever seen this design here before? Take a good look at this design, okay? You see this design? We're going to do something with it. At the same time, we're going to light up a cigarette, of course. Is that on my schedule? Let me see. What the fuck? I don't run by a schedule. I just do what I can when I could, and I try even when it's not time, just like this setup. I wasn't coming here to go on and tell you anything at all. But now that I am here, I'm going to see what I can do. Does it mean anything I say is right? Absolutely it is right, against my hypothetical thought. How it may be wrong or different to your hypothetical thought would be nice to know, so we can see the difference. What does it really mean to you? It's the 21st letter. It's almost like splitting an egg in half. Okay, you split an egg in half. The outline of both of them is a U. And one of them might turn in if you don't cut it at the right place. There's so many little things. Anyways, I'm going to continue on to design that what I just showed you. And this is your eye, and here's the 5. And now at the same eye, here is the 2. 5 and 2. And with the H, it does something a little bit different. With the H, if it had to do that, inside here is a C. Or it's a little too small for the C. And the only place I actually have for this is the nun in the Hebrew language. Pretty funny, eh? Nun? Nun in the Hebrew language, or just like let's spell it N-U-N, would be 28, 38, 48, which totals 49. So the number definition for 49 is eternal. It is the heavens, which is always there, regardless of man. Okay? Heaven exists. But heaven can't exist. Because the 7 card is the first part. But the next card, that is a 7 card, both with the 7th gate, become the 8th card. If you do not have a birth into this world, the heavens, heaven, I'm assuming heaven means 2. And one of the reasons for that is because of its design. And the H, where's the H? Hello, Mr. H. Oh, that was the H. This is the H. It looks like U7. Made a little mistake. If I would have drawn a line over here, that would actually look like a jack upside down. But they were 2 U's to start, and it creates the H letter. 1 up and 1 down, and then you throw the digital in there in both spots, and you got digital heaven. So 52 shows up again. The Mayans talk about 52. Well, if their reality is real, then my reality is real. Again, I heard, listen to this, I heard 13, okay? Then I heard seasons. Then I heard 20. Then I heard 4 times 13 is 52, which brings me to the thought that the 20 are the 20 weekdays in a month and the 8 weekend days in a month. It can also work as 21 weekdays. Excuse me. It could work as 21 weekdays. Is that not correct? That's incorrect. There's only 5 work days in a week. It goes 5, 10, 15, 20, and it stops on 20. Beta world. Now the heaven, Saturday, Sunday, Saturday, Sunday, Saturday, Sunday, Saturday, Sunday is 8. You now have 28 days in the month. The same words the Indians have said, 28 days in a month. You have 13 moons in a season. You have 13 months. You have a total of 364 days. And that next day and a half, okay, 1.25 days, will end up to be a weekday. And the difference between a weekend and a weekday is this. The weekday, the weekend is straight. The weekday is on an angle. Okay? Each angle is 1.25. Now, why I'm telling you this, okay, is because what happens is on this angle, going through 1, 2, 3 squares, each one takes up 0.25 degrees more. So that will end up to be 1.25. Not only that, okay, the 1.25 days is 30 hours. That's the number for creation. That's what it took to make man. Hold on a second. Hello. Okay, I didn't even leave to do my laundry. So, okay, well, it's going to take me an hour and a half. Yeah, 2:45. Is that late? Okay, well, you'll be home for an hour and 20 minutes. I'll do it quick. I only have one little load. I have nothing to wear, 0. Bye. Okay, Train Morton. Okay, yeah, just give me an hour, 10 minutes to go there, 10 minutes to go to your house, 35 minutes for a wash, 20 minutes for a dry. Okay, so just take your time. What's the difference? We have fucking a whole weekend. Oh no. Oh yeah, you started already. Oh, okay, cool, cool. You, did they give you your vacation pay yet? Okay, so they're gonna end up paying you that extra money plus whatever it is. Okay, I'll see you soon. Bye. Okay, so I have no idea where I was right now. So there's differences in just so many things. I mean, even if you, does anybody have a boat? Does anybody have a boat out there? Not everybody lift your hands, okay? I'm going to show you a boat. Don't you tie it up to this? Isn't that what the boat ties to? One of these? The extension of this, you do know, is this. But when it's tied down on only one end for your boat, you don't need to see. This is the alpha omega, if you'd like to know. At the same time, if you take a careful look, it's a 5 and a 2. The weed eater, have you ever seen the weed eater effect? It looks like a 6 and a 9 cutting. You see the U over here? Because that's you over here. You're the one that automatically takes up the center. You're the only one that takes its hands in the middle of the weed eater to weed eat. Not only that, you're not cutting the grass here. You're cutting the grass here. Or is it the opposite way around? And I'm in the side, on this side over here. The U is what's going around. So regardless of the side, okay, of the weed eater, you cannot cut forward and need to cut backwards unless you're walking backwards. Do you understand? It's cutting forward, the weed eater. It cuts up, it goes forward. The other thing with this is if you take a good look at it, it's like a bird. Do you know why eyeglasses are made the way they are? Because actually, one eyeglass is this way and one eyeglass is this way. Two different kinds of reception in the eyes. A little bit different. But they're not that much different because they're still both your eyes. But anything you do with your eyes, it's the left eye and the right eye. Always make it like separate. Hello, sir. I like each of your eyes. More of the left one than the right one. So what are we going to do next? What are we going to do next? What numbers will we come up? We have 16 cards in blackjack. 10 cards in one deck. Okay? 16. We only have 4 aces. We can only get 4 blackjacks. 4 21s is 84. 84 is 7 by 12. Do you know why things work by 12? 1 cube is 6 sides. 2 cubes are 12 sides. And do you know what's funny? The side pointing up, let's say the 4 pointed up on the side, you always know the 3 is underneath. What goes up and points down. Left and right. Both the same meaning, of course, except one is down and one is up. Right? Not sure where I am with the, so we got the 4 blackjacks, right? Now we only got 12 tens left in the deck. 1 plus 2 is 3. That means we've had creation. If we would have 4 back, then we tell another story. Now, does it seem as simple as it may be? It's all insanity. The Pontiac sign, have you ever seen that? The Pontiac sign and the pentagram and the way a soccer ball is made. Anyways, whatever it is, let's get on to the true things in life. Let's see, Texas Hold'em, Time Heaven, T&H. But then they played Omaha, low and high, H and L. The total is 12. Since it's 4 cards in each one and it's 8, it tells you it's the heavens of the 20 world. Then when you have 9 players, getting 4 cards is 36 cards. And 4 that get burnt is 40. And 5 on the table, you have a total of 45 cards. And that's the foxhole you have created. That's how many cards and how many players it takes to play that round. And since there's 9 players at the table, 9 and 45 makes the exact opposite, 54. And it's the number of love. It's the number of rule. When you say the word love, it means rule. Now, we'll never be able to push everybody into position of rule. Others will always see it differently in a way, although rule is pretty simple. You don't pick up a gun and shoot anybody unless the reason for shooting them well enough merits to pick up a gun to do it, then do it. It's pretty simple. We can't think fast enough. And then others bring us to the courts, and they can think faster in a different mode, and then we get put away when the reality of the situation was the kill was a good kill. Don't forget, In this life, we work from 8 till 12. What does that mean to work from 8 till 12? Well, first of all, there's 4 in between, which is 1/4. To work from 8 to 12 is actually a suspension. We are 10 in the 8 heaven, rolling 2 dies that total 12 to the possibility, which will either engage you in the north-south world or the east-west world. They each get 10, but there's a total of 12. Never marked that down yet. Let me mark that down. 8, 10, 12 is the dice. 8 is the heaven. 7 is the world. 10 is the game connected to creation. Pi, 3.14159265. You know what's so fantastic about pi? I haven't learned the whole thing yet. I don't even know how it becomes to being the way it is, but it's certainly telling a story. I mean, to have 1415 equal 92, which is 11, you also have the next two numbers after that, which is 65, and that equals 11. So 2, 4, 6, 8 common numbers within itself, all equaling to 11 to begin this game of pi. And don't forget, in pi, if you looked at it at the 10 world, you'd add a 7. If you looked at it at the 7 world, you'd add a 4. So then you'd be able to figure out what you're looking for in pi, because if it continues and you're confused, it continues for a reason. Find the reason and understand the reason for it to continue the way it is. I mean, it may be a number, but it came up that way from a reason. Otherwise, the existence wouldn't have any blueprints, and this number would no longer exist. If pi no longer existed, we would no longer have this conversation between I and O, which is like me and you. Just to say this word, in French they say faux is a mistake, but if you listen to it, it sounds like F-O, fee, fi, fo, fum. The other one is an auxiliary. In French, they would say O, which means again the letter O in another world, A and E. So anyways, we've jumped on to Texas Hold'em, we've jumped on to Omaha, we've jumped on to 7-card stud. And why is it a 7-card stud? Because you get all your own 7 cards to play with. You're the man, you're the stud, you will put the combinations together from the hands. They will be able to see 4 cards, and you have 3 closed. The total of 7, 4 and 3, 7. You are the stud, because the 4 open, that is the egg. And you have to play with the vision of what you see and what they see of you. Where else am I at? Time heaven, Texas Hold'em. Different ways to, you see this here? I've divided the square. 1, 3, and 7 are on one side. 3, 9, and 7 are on the other. You see the way 7 gets used twice? 1, 3, 7. 1, 3, 9. I doubled it up. And 1, 7, 9. And obviously I'm a retard, like somebody said, because I've corrected the mistake. Open up this cube, stand them up to each other, and it creates the letter W. Not only that, it's the first 2 of the shark teeth that come in, right? Don't forget, what you see is your teeth here. Sometimes you say, I don't want to see it, I don't want to see it. Sometimes you say, I want to see it. What you see is your tooth here. There's an underneath to that tooth, and it looks like something else. It's different. It's the same tooth. So, look, pentagram, triangle, Pontiac sign. What is this? This is stretched out to the corner. These corners are 1 and 3. 2. Okay. Excuse me. 8, 2, 5. 7, 5, 9, 5, 7, 2, 5. It makes the number 1. Okay. The reason I'm showing you this, okay, because everybody asks what happened. Well, they need a long extension, okay, from the secondary world okay, to get into the 7th gate and the 9th birth. Everything's okay for the 8th because it's the empty space in between is the 8th. That's the space, that's the heaven. Another thing I was going to write down, and it's hard to show, is that if you have an arrow going like this, in order for me to go this way, I can't go straight through it, so I have to go down, around, up, and back. And that, okay, design is hard to exactly show you. They have it on fencing. At the same time, it becomes the cat, okay, of the jack, the card, and the kings. Another thing we have to always understand, this is the roulette wheel is set up this way, 4 by 3, and our telephone is set up this way, 4 by 3. Now, I don't know exactly what it means, but it's good enough. We know it's there. One day when we get to it, we'll find the meaning. Otherwise, why bother? It'll bump into us just as well. We'll see it again and again. We'll say, oh, that's what this one uses for. Now this one uses it for. Another thing is this design over here. Now, they can also use it as an anvil to build because of the points and the ends, okay? Which it's actually 2 letter M's coming together. Because either you have it coming together like this with a crease here and a crease here, or the other side of the world, it'll look like this, okay? These are where the number grid is, one over the other one. M and M brings them closer together. Anyways, there's more lines to add. At the end of this here is actually, I'm going to try and show you if I could. I'm going to do it real small and real quick. And it ends up to be doing this. You see the increase over here, indent? That indents over here. See the indent on the other side? That indents over there. The flat cross apart and the flat cross apart, it connects it together to make it. And this is also the same way for the rivers and the passing and the flow. See the way it flows? And then the cars can go over the top. Whatever we have on our highways, wherever we go, a piece of creation is below your tires. A piece is in front of your eyes. And the greatest of all creations is the understanding of the creation itself versus creation. What's going on? What evil? It's the 20th today. It's been 3 months, May to June to July, May to June, June to July. It's 2 months tomorrow. 60, is it 60 or 61 days? Wow. 21st tomorrow. Also, tomorrow is the first full month of summer. Satellite summer, eclipse. What's going on? 8 days. I usually keep announcing everything like that, but right now the new number tells me 8 days from tomorrow, which is the 29th. 29th, oh my God, that's absolutely right. Plus the same time, I think we get our second full moon. Am I right? Am I wrong? Am I close? 29th. So that would be the entry for the cat and the dog. 29th of this month, based on the eclipse, of course. I mean, the only thing I did is find the formula. Now, does it work? We'll see on the 29th. We do know September 15th is the last one. And that one, my friends, oh my God, that's a real weird one. It's connecting 3 areas. 3 planets touch, or 3 moons touch, 3 moons. Something connects in 3 on the 15th. Why? Because of the pig's pregnancy. What else do we have to do? Values of the cards. 2 cards or 2 numbers we don't use in blackjack. That's the 12 and the 13, which means 1/4, which is L and M, which means lem, to love. Maybe that's why we don't use it. Maybe because man becomes within his own 10 a queen or a king if he has a child. So they don't actually use that cards in blackjack because it's what man can create in his life. What man, Father. Anyways, we had another thing here. You ever see any of these? Or these over here? They're jacks. They're socks. You see a sock? It sort of looks like a sock. There's a reason for all this. Inside, this is the flow inside. It's a T-flow. It's like a T-bar. It drags it along. You see over here? These are skis, my friend. Right? They can go both ways. You can pull it this way and this way. There's many ways to look at it. Here's the two eyes and a smiley face. Okay? Blackjack, card value. What's happening with Nibiru? Like I said before, I believe that Nibiru and all these planets are all being controlled by some other entity, or they're actually controlling it and they're in it. It was their only way to pass through the belt. You can't get through the belt unless you're a planet or a ship. Maybe the electronics didn't pass through that area, so they had to use planets to move. Nibiru, I don't know, keeps reminding me of the bear and the bee. You know the letter B? Can I tell you what the letter B does? First of all, if your son said to you, Dad, a bee, and we were in the forest, you think it was a bee that can sting you, or go to a nice little plant and get a little bit of whatever they pollen that they can get. And then you say B, and your father says, you mean B is B and E, breaking and entering? B and E is 2 plus 5 is 7 because the second and the fifth letter. Two sides of the B, two sides of everything in this world. The B, how do you spell that? B and E. Sounds good. What about the bee and the bear? Well, to create a bear, my friends, or a bee and a bear, well, there is a bee and a bear. Why? Nobody knows why there's a bee and a bear? Because the first letter. Why there's a bee and a bear? Because the first two letters are B and E. All we need to say is you bear a child, B-E-R, and the R itself sounds like with the A, which says angel. But at the same time, B-A-R is a bear, but you can only use two letters, a B and an R, which be the second and 18th letter. It says 20, and it's this world. Free parking. Anyways, not going anywhere with this anymore. Raphael 7286.